Are you wondering if you bought too much bike? Well, I want to show you 3 simple signs that you did buy too much bike. One common sign is you accidentally wheelie while trail riding at least 2 times when you go out. So when you have a trail bike or an enduro bike that has too much power for you to control, it has a lot of power, and if you don't have the proper techniques or the riding experience, just giving it a little bit too much gas, it wants to fly out from under you. And if you feel like you're doing that multiple times on a trail ride, then I'm sorry, but you bought too much bike. At least if you want to quickly build your confidence and skills on the trails. And I'll explain what I mean by that in just a minute. Now, sign number 2 is you're focusing too much on taming the throttle rather than focusing on practicing proper techniques. So I get so many comments and emails and questions about what bike should I get? I can have really good throttle control, or should I get a 450 even if I have really good throttle control? And even though they have good intentions when they're saying this, they want that extra power because it's really fun, and you're doing a wheelie. But if you really want to quickly build your skills to confidently ride basic trails, single track trails with your family and friends, when your mental strength is focusing too much on trying to tame the power, so trying not to wheelie, trying to loop out, trying to keep the bike under control, you can't focus the rest of your body on the proper techniques of clutch control, body position, where to position your feet, how to anticipate what the bike is doing, proper balance. There's just so much mental strength that you need. And when you're focusing too much on trying to smoothly apply the throttle so that you don't wheelie, this is really slowing down your growth when it comes to being a confident trail rider. And number 3, if you've bought aftermarket parts to try and smooth the throttle control or make it more beginner friendly, such as a throttle tamer, which changes the throttle so the initial part of the throttle movement doesn't open the throttle as much, so it feels like a slower bike because the power rolls on smoother. But this is really just a band-aid, because once you get past that first part of the throttle, the bike still has 100% power, which means that if you start getting exhausted on a long trail ride and you aren't using proper body position, all it takes is a little bit of extra throttle, you get pushed back on the seat, and then you give it more gas, and there goes the bike. It's like wanting to buy a Corvette because it's a supercar, but then wanting to put a 4-cylinder engine in it. It's like, what's the point in buying a Corvette then? So if you can't take advantage of the power of like a 300 or a 450 enduro bike, which 99.9% of us can't, then there's really no reason to buy that much bike, especially if you're a beginner. And when you start on a dirt bike that has less power, a trail bike such as like the Honda CRF 250F or like the Kawasaki KLX 230R, if you're like 5'6" to 6 foot, that's more than enough power to have fun on the trails. And then, since it's easier to ride because the power is smoother, there's less power, you're able to focus on the fundamental techniques which give you more control, and you'll be able to ride 5 to 10 times longer because you're not getting exhausted from your arms wanting to rip out of their sockets from 60 horsepower. And if you already started on one of these powerful enduro bikes, I'm sorry that you started or are riding this bike, because it's probably one of the biggest factors that are holding you back to becoming a confident trail rider faster. But it is still possible to build your confidence. It just takes a lot longer because you can't focus on building the proper techniques. But if you want to build your confidence a lot faster and are open to buying a more affordable and different trail bike, and I want to show you the best beginner-friendly dirt bikes to start out on that are less than $2,000. I got a video right here to show you those bikes. I'm Kelly Fager from Motocross Hideout. Learn more, ride more.